Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're opening up a really interesting case file from Belfast. We're looking at the flexible workspace industry.
Which is a notoriously tough market. So much client churn.
Exactly. And in the middle of it all is this company, VenYou. They're a serviced office provider, and they're celebrating 15 years in business, which is just, well, it's remarkable in that sector.
It really is.
So we've got a whole stack of sources here detailing their journey. Our mission today is to figure out what the strategy is. I mean, what allows a company like VenYou to not just survive for that long, but to actually thrive and build incredible client loyalty.
Right, in a market where relationships are usually so temporary.
We want the shortcut to understanding their model, what makes it work consistently.
And, when you synthesize all the data, it's a fascinating story. This isn't really about real estate or property cycles. It's a masterclass in, I'd say, operational rigor. It's about recognizing that the real value in this kind of business hinges on people, on consistency.
Okay, so people and consistency.
Yeah. The key insight that's going to drive our whole discussion today is this. Success in a high-churn service industry is directly, and I mean directly, tied to staff continuity.
All right, let's unpack that. Let's start with the basics, the scope of the company. They were founded back in 2010.
Yep, 2010. So they've navigated some pretty serious economic ups and downs.
And where are they now in terms of, physical locations and just their overall scale?
They started at a really iconic address, the Scottish Provident Building.
Right.
And since then, they've just been incredibly strategic. They've focused on prime city center locations. So now they're running 4 top-tier sites.
The original one.
The original Scottish Provident Building, yes,
Yeah.
plus Thomas House, Northern Court, and Ascot House.
So all concentrated in the central business district.
Exactly. It's not random. It means clients get immediate access to, transport links, the whole commercial infrastructure. It's a huge plus.
Yeah.
And the scale is impressive, too. Across those 4 buildings, they're supporting over 600 businesses.
600. And when you look at the types of businesses, the diversity is, well, it seems like a massive strategic advantage. They're not just banking on one industry.
No, not at all. You see everything. Professional services, tech firms that are scaling up, healthcare, finance, media organizations, you name it.
That adaptability must give them incredibly stable revenue streams. It sort of shields them from a downturn in any one specific sector, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, in this market, volatility is the enemy. Diversification is your shield. If you put all your bets on, say, tech startups.
And then the funding dries up.
Precisely. You risk a massive contraction. But by being able to service a huge multinational financial team right alongside a small creative media agency, VenYou is signaling that they can handle complexity. They can meet vastly different demands.
Which brings us right to their core philosophy. I was looking at this quote from Donna Linehan, their client services director. She talks about creating premium, personalized spaces.
Right, but that's a good motto. Lots of companies have good mottos. The difference here is the data.
And the data is pretty wild.
It's not just good, it's sector defining. We have this one standout metric. The average tenancy length at VenYou is nearly 6 years.
6 years.
Almost 6 years. And you have to put that in context. The industry average for flexible space in Northern Ireland is only about 2 to 3 years.
So they're doubling it. More than doubling it, actually.
They are. And let's just analyze that for a second. Why is the industry average so low? It's because of project teams, companies chasing the lowest price, just general volatility.
Constant movement.
Right. To get a 6-year average means you're not just capturing that transient market. You are keeping mature, established businesses who see your space as a long-term home.
Which totally changes the financial model, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That average means so much less churn.
Way less churn.
Which means less downtime for them, less money spent on marketing to find new clients, and a much, much higher lifetime value for every customer. It just screams trust.
Trust is the perfect word. It's mentioned that many of their original clients from 2010 are either still there or they've come back. Maybe they left, outgrew the space, and then realized the grass wasn't greener. VenYou is acting less like a landlord and more like a long-term service partner.
Okay, so if the retention numbers are the proof of that loyalty, the big question has to be, how? How did they actually do it? Let's get into the mechanics. What their operations director, Johnny Hill, calls the human element.
This is it. This is where we get past the buildings and into their real competitive advantage. Hill says, quite explicitly, that their success comes down to the continuity of their staff.
So the actual people working there.
The management team, the front of house staff, even the housekeeping teams, many of them have been with VenYou for years.
That continuity must be priceless, especially if you're an international company trying to set up in a new market.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, if you, the listener, have ever tried to set up a new base abroad, you know the difference. Walking into an office where the staff knows your name versus having to re-explain everything to a new temp every other week.
Exactly. The clients see the stability of the people as a separate asset from the buildings themselves. That institutional knowledge becomes a currency.
I see.
When a client knows the person handling their mail or their IT has been doing it reliably for 5 years, they get a sense of security that, even the fanciest, newest building down the street can't just replicate overnight.
And you can see that trust reflected in their growth.
Yeah, you can. There's a perfect example. When they launched Thomas House in 2023, it hit full occupancy in 6 months.
6 months. That's incredibly fast.
It's lightning fast. And that's not just because of the location. It's because the market already trusted the VenYou brand of service delivered by a team they knew was stable. That fill rate then feeds directly into creating more jobs and growing revenue.
That does bring up a critical question, though. For any business that's been around a while, isn't there a risk that focusing so much on long-tenured staff could make you less agile, especially with new technology coming out all the time?
That's a fair point, a very fair challenge. But what the sources seem to suggest is that for VenYou's specific clients, we're talking major financial firms, professional services consistency and reliability are more valuable than just pure novelty.
Okay.
These clients need their complex systems to just work perfectly. A highly experienced staff ensures that when new tech is implemented, it's done smoothly with minimal disruption. They're experts at managing change, not just running a static system.
That internal stability then allows them to project competence outward, which is critical when you look at their bigger role in Belfast's economy. They aren't just serving local businesses.
No, they are actively bringing in global investment. This is their macro-level impact. They've been instrumental in attracting international firms. The sources specifically mention clients from America, Australia, and Europe.
They're like a professional bridgehead.
That's a great way to put it.
And the sources use this really powerful phrase. They say, VenYou helps in de-risking market entry. For a listener who isn't setting up an international office tomorrow, let's break down what that actually means.
De-risking is a huge service. So imagine you're an American firm. You want a small initial base in the UK.
Okay.
To set up your own permanent office, you have to navigate local laws, payroll, long-term leases. It's a process that can take 6 to 9 months of very expensive legal work before you even hire your first person.
A huge headache.
A massive one. VenYou basically takes on that entire initial burden. An international company gets immediate, compliant, fully serviced space. Their experienced staff can guide the client. It's the ultimate soft landing. It lets the company focus on their actual business, not bureaucracy.
And that's why they can attract the big names.
Exactly. The trust level is clear when you look at their client history. This isn't just small operators.
Right.
They've successfully hosted huge corporate players like Deloitte and Baker McKenzie. That proves they can meet the highest possible standards for security, confidentiality, scale, everything.
And they do that while also catering to sole traders.
Right. They manage the entire spectrum from a one-person startup to a firm with over 200 employees.
So we've got 15 years of success, these incredible retention numbers, and this key role in bringing international capital to Belfast. What does this all suggest about the future of this industry?
Well, the market outlook confirms that demand for this kind of premium, flexible space in Belfast is high, and it's expected to keep growing.
The city's becoming more attractive.
It is for both global and local firms, and VenYou's reputation for consistency means they are just perfectly positioned to capitalize on that growth. They can maintain premium pricing because their service reduces risk and complexity for clients.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? I think we've seen that service is just so much more important than the physical infrastructure itself. VenYou's success is a blueprint. It's built on strategic locations, yes, but it's fundamentally reliant on personalized service, which is driven by that highly experienced, consistent staff. They've turned a high-churn industry into a long-term partnership model.
That consistency really is their competitive advantage. It's a powerful, non-physical asset. It's brand equity that comes from people. In a world with more and more complexity, the most valuable thing you can offer is reliable, predictable service. VenYou is basically the antidote to market volatility because they promise and they deliver operational continuity.
So it all comes back to the people.
It does. So here's a final thought for you to consider. If you were the CEO of an expanding company and you had two identical offers for premium space in a new international city, how much financial value would you place on the provider that can guarantee their front of house, IT, and maintenance staff have a 6-year average tenure?
Versus a competitor with shiny new tech, but high staff turnover.
Exactly. Is that human continuity worth a premium price? And if it is, how does that change how you think about your investment strategy?
That's a great question about risk and value to mull over. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into what makes a service business last. We'll see you next time.